everybody. Happy Monday. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Monday, May 12th, 2014. Welcome aboard. For the next 2 hours, God willing and the creek don't rise, we're going to be talking about holistic medicine, everything your MD neglected to tell you. Quite frankly, everything that your MD did not know, by virtue of the simple notion, the simple data point that they've missed, is that the human body knows how to fix itself, the human body wants to fix itself, and the human body has a built-in God-given intelligence which is attempting all of the time to fix itself. Your MD does not believe this because they are trained in a reductionistic philosophy of medicine, and reductionism argues that if it can't be measured, it doesn't exist, since nobody has dissected the soul nor the vital force out of the human body. Since nobody has visualized it with a CT scan, an MRI, an X-ray, or an ultrasound, it does not exist. And if it does not exist, well, it doesn't exist. The MDs, in disregarding the relationship between the spiritual vital force and the health of the body, have thrown the baby out with the bathwater. And all of their therapeutics are completely misguided. It's like they're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, but they've forgotten that they have the glasses on. So everything that they see is informed and colored a priori. It has a built-in bias that they've forgotten about. And this is why, while we have been under their care, our health is going to hell in a handbasket rapidly. In the United States, the leading cause of death is MD-directed medicine. The leading cause of bankruptcy is MD-directed medicine. And I was watching TV this weekend, and there was a trailer for, I think it's a television show. It's a series that's about to be aired shortly about the obesity epidemic in the United States and how bad it is and what needs to be done about it. And of course, they interview people like Dr. Oz and Bill Clinton and all of these PhDs and MDs. They don't interview any naturopaths. They don't interview a chiropractor, an Ayurvedic practitioner, a homeopath, or anybody that has a clue about real medicine. They interview the status quo, and the basic, in a nutshell, take-home message that they're trying to fool you into believing is this notion that obesity is caused by sugar. But sugar is the culprit. Sugar is the fiend. Sugar is the Antichrist, and it's sugar that's the fault. It's it's bad parenting. It's bad socialization. It's bad politics, right? We need to force McDonald's to put less sugar in their soda pops. And like in New York City, we have to pass a law that you can't drink a big gulp that's over 32 ounces or whatever. It's nonsense. Sugar is not the problem. Your DNA is made from sugar. Your genetic material is made from sugar. Sugar is the gasoline of the body. You couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. You couldn't do it. You need sugar to survive. Sugar is the gasoline of your body. And when your body doesn't have enough sugar, it turns whatever it can into sugar. Sugar is not the problem. The problem is lack of nutrition. But again, because the MDs are like colorblind art critics, because they have a built-in bias that they're not even aware of, they have no inkling of foundation holistic medical nutrition, none whatsoever. They are blind to its presence. And so they have to find somebody to blame, and they're never going to blame themselves. They're never going to blame their own orientation. They're never going to blame their own socialization. They're never going to blame their own perspective on medicine because they've convinced themselves that they are the gods and goddesses of the medical arena. It can't possibly be the doctor's fault. It has to be society's fault. It has to be the food industry's fault. It has to be the parents' fault. And it has to be the lazy child's fault. It can't be the doctor's fault. But in fact, it is the doctor's fault, because here's what happens. Remember, your body needs sugar in order to survive. You couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. Sugar is not the Antichrist. The amount of sugar that we consume on a day-to-day basis is in fact troubling, but it is not the primary cause of obesity. It is not. What does sugar do when you ingest it? Well, if you ingest the right amount of sugar, it doesn't do anything but good things, and it gives you energy to burn, and life is good. Your heart keeps beating, your brain keeps thinking, your hormones are balanced, life is good. But when you consume too much sugar, more sugar than you ought to, your blood becomes slightly acidic. When your blood becomes slightly acidic, the buffering systems of the body kick in. You have 6 buffering systems, which keep a very tight rein over how acidic or how neutral or how alkaline your blood is at any moment in time. And a healthy body, the pH of the blood wants to be just a little bit over towards the alkaline side of the spectrum from dead neutral. It wants to be just a little bit alkaline beyond dead neutral. And so you have too much sugar. Too much sugar makes your blood acidic. Your blood is now acidic. The body will not tolerate that. The body kicks in its buffering system, and the first 4 of the body's 6 buffering systems are mineral buffering systems. So when the blood becomes too acidic because you've eaten too much sugar, the mineral buffering systems kick in, and your body leaches minerals from wherever it can in the body. Usually it's the bones and the joints. So the body leaches minerals from the bones and joints and dumps the minerals into the bloodstream in order to neutralize the acidic nature of the blood and bring it back to an alkaline place, and life is good. However, what has just happened? You have robbed your mineral stores, which makes you now more minerally deficient than you were when you started. When you started, you were minerally deficient because the food does not contain the minerals that the body needs. The food cannot make minerals. The food can make a lot of things. Mother Nature can make a lot of things. Plants can make a lot of things. Animals can make a lot of things. But plants and animals cannot make minerals. Plants and animals cannot make calcium and magnesium and zinc and selenium. There are 60 minerals which are necessary, essential in fact, for your health, and everybody is minerally deficient because these minerals, which are essential for your body's health, are not found in the soil. They're simply not all found in the soil. Some of them are, but not all of them. So unless you're supplementing with a really high quality, broad spectrum, absorbable mineral supplement, you are minerally deficient. Everybody in the world, except members of Longevity Nation, are minerally deficient, and now you've just eaten too much sugar. It makes your body even more minerally deficient, and what happens when your body is minerally deficient? Your body doesn't like that. Your body tries to adjust. Your body tries to remedy the situation. So what does your body, in its wisdom, make you do? It makes you eat in the desperate attempt to fill up the mineral tank that you have just depleted even more by acidifying the blood with too much sugar. So your body makes you crave food in the desperate attempt to fill the mineral tank up, but the food that you're eating doesn't have the minerals that you need. So you'll go to Olive Garden, you'll pig out. You'll go to McDonald's, you'll pig out. You go somewhere and pig out, eat 3,000 calories because you must, because you're driven there by nature. And 2 hours later, you're hungry again. Of course, for dessert, you're going to have something sugary and sweet, right? Because that's what we've been enculturated to do. So you bump up the sugar even more, and now the whole thing starts over and over and over. And it's an endless cycle. The only thing that makes people gain weight is too many calories. The only thing that makes people eat too many calories is a body which is nutritionally starved. Your body knows it's minerally deficient. Your body knows that if it continues to be minerally deficient, you're going to die. Your liver is going to go, your kidneys are going to go, your heart's going to go. Something's going to go because you need minerals to survive. Your car needs oil and transmission fluid and gas. Well, guess what? Your body needs 60 minerals, 12 amino acids, 16 vitamins, and 2 essential fatty acids, 90 essential nutrients. Maybe half of which, if you're lucky, maybe not even a third of which, you can get from food. So you're 70% down from following Dr. Oz's advice and the American Food Council and the American Dietetic Association. Oh, aren't they the greatest people in the world? They're fools. The last thing you should do is follow their advice, because look what's happened while you followed their advice. Obesity is skyrocketing. Oh, but it can't be their fault. It's got to be your fault. You're lazy SOB. You have the fat gene. That's what you have. You were born with a stomach that's too big, and quite frankly, you have no discipline. You eat too much sugar, yada, 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 yada. They're wrong. 2 plus 2 does not equal 5. Obesity is not directly caused by too much sugar. It's indirectly caused by too much sugar. It's caused by too many calories. The only thing that makes people eat too many calories is lack of nutrition. Now, you can argue that a very small percentage of the population has endured some extreme psychological stress in the past, which they have compensated for by overeating because it makes them feel good. It fills in an emotional hole. But that's a small percentage, not the majority. Not the majority. Remember, this is the body-mind. There's a connection between the two. But everybody overlooks the body because nobody knows holistic medical nutrition. Nobody. Well, a handful of us do. And that's why this radio show exists, because I am on the forefront, the tip of the spear of science-based, clinically verified, new-fashioned medical nutrition. If you listen to us, you succeed. If you listen to the MDs, you will fail when it comes to chronic disease. You can listen to the MD if you have a broken leg or a laceration or a spurting artery or a bullet in your arm, because that's their wheelhouse. But for chronic disease, they are the wrong dog for the hunt. There was nobody in Auschwitz or the death camps of World War II that was overweight, because nobody ate anything in the death camps because they didn't feed them. The only thing that makes people gain weight is too many calories. And if you have too much sugar, it's going to drive mineral deficiencies, which make you crave more calories. The solution for the obesity epidemic? 90 essential nutrients every day appropriate for body weight. This is the solution to support and promote healthy body weight. 10 foods you must never even look at, let alone eat. Plus, fill your body's nutritional tank up with the 90 essential nutrients. If I were you, I'd get them through Youngevity, because Youngevity's essential nutrients are the best products I've seen in 25 years of clinical work as a licensed naturopathic physician. My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. Well, guess what? I'm putting an end to that right now. There's a new sheriff in town, Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around, more to come. So, if you had a plumbing problem, if you bought a brand new house or, a second-hand house and you moved into the house and there was a plumbing problem, you got a $10,000 job that needs to be done, who are you going to call? You going to call your next-door neighbor? Nope. Your next-door neighbor doesn't have any experience with plumbing. You're not going to call them. How about your child's high school swim coach? Well, that's a good idea, because they work with water all day, don't they? I mean, doesn't the swim coach work with water? Well, they do, but are they a good candidate to help you fix your plumbing? No, because it's a different type of water, right? It's water, but it's different. Well, when it comes to a chronic health condition, there are lots of people who are trained in medicine. By way of metaphor, right? A lot of different people that work with water. Well, there's plumbers, there's sea captains, there's sailors, there's scuba divers, there's swim coaches. You need the plumber. You don't need the swim coach. You don't need the scuba diver. You need the plumber. Well, when you're dealing with a chronic health condition, you need the naturopath. You don't need the MD. You should avoid the MD. You should fire the MD. I mean, look at their track record for chronic disease. Obesity is skyrocketing. Alzheimer's risen from obscurity to become the 6th leading cause of death. Autism now 1 out of 50 to 90 kids, depending on how you crunch the numbers. Attention deficit disorder rampant. High blood pressure going up and up and up. Kidney disease going up and up and up. Arthritis. This from your friendly neighborhood MD, your friendly neighborhood medical doctor. Incompetence. Horrible results, unbelievably bad results, and yet because they own the market, because they have monopolized the medical market to the exclusion of everybody else for the last 80 years, we don't know any better. The American public does not know any better. The Canadian public does not know any better. The European Union members do not know any better, because you have been boonswoggled by almost 100 years of pharmaceutical profiteering propaganda, hammering the notion into your brain that the MD is a god. There are no other gods before the MD. You must listen to the MD, and everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack with substandard, dangerous training. Baloney. As it turns out, just the opposite is true. Your medical doctor is the incompetent one. I mean, if they were competent, then chronic disease would be getting less and less and less. I mean, isn't that what healthcare is supposed to do? Aren't we supposed to be getting healthier with healthcare? We are. We're not. We're getting worse. Because MDs aren't trained in healthcare. They're trained in disease management. And so we're on a slippery slope, sliding. And the cliff is coming up quick. We're going to go right over it. Heard a story about a young man the other day. Tragic. Well, not so tragic as it is. Well, it's tragic. High school kid comes home from football practice, takes a shower, dies of a heart attack in the shower. What's the most common cause of a heart attack in athletes? Cardiomyopathy. That means your heart enlarges too much and then the valves don't work and you have a heart attack. What causes cardiomyopathy? Selenium deficiencies in the mineral selenium. Where does selenium come from? It comes from the ground. Where does it exist in the ground? God only knows. It's not evenly spread out in the ground. Most of the United States is deficient in selenium, so if, depending on where your food is grown, if there's no selenium touching the roots, there ain't no selenium in the carrot or the mushroom or the broccoli or the pine nut or the walnut. It's just not there. So your kid goes out of his way to get strong, right? He wants to be strong, wants to be a good kid, wants to be a contender, wants to be a sports person. Builds their body up, but he puts stress on their body. Every time they lift that weight, every time they run 50 yards, they put stress on the heart. The heart can't keep up with the stress because there's no selenium in the diet, and the coach doesn't know it, and the team doctor doesn't know it, and the child dies, is dead and gone and buried because the medical doctor was an idiot. The team's doctor was not staying current with the literature. Fire your medical doctor now, for goodness sakes. Snap out of it. Swallow the red pill. And let's walk hand in hand in the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical nutrition. You're going to love how you feel. Greg in California is up next. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. The phones are ringing off the hook. Let's get right to it, shall we? California's up first with Greg. Hey, Greg. Thanks for the phone call. You
Hi.
are live. What's going on, Greg?
Well, my mom was, about a year ago, she got on a bus and the bus driver took off and she was holding groceries. She fell, ended up breaking her L4 vertebrae.
Ouch.
And, so the doctor says it has healed, but she still has a lot of difficulty putting on socks. Her right hip hurts all the time. And she doesn't have a lot of movement and flexibility. So even though it's still healed, even though it's quote-unquote healed, she still has a lot of pain. And to top that off, she has osteoporosis.
Okay, so I'm glad you called. This is a really great thing to talk about, all right? There's a certain amount of stress that's going to make anything break. Yeah, a certain amount of stress will make anything break, right? Kryptonite, it broke Superman. I mean, if you drop a rock big enough on your foot's going to break. I don't care how strong you are. But there's a difference between the stress of life and the structural integrity of the human body. And when the human body is nutrified, when people are taking all 90 essential nutrients every day, and their bones and their joints and their hearts and their kidneys and their liver and their spleen and their skin and their brain and everything has all of this raw materials that everything needs in order to optimize their structure and function, well, guess what happens? The structure and function becomes optimized. And when we stop eating food that's slowly whittling away at our health, the body optimizes its structure and function even more. So from our point of view, people don't become osteoporotic because they're getting older or because they have bones. People become osteoporotic because they have a bad doctor, not because they have a bad gene. Their bones have simply run out of the raw materials that they need in order to maintain their structural integrity. And it's ironic because the leading osteoporotic medicine, the bisphosphonates of Fosamax and Boniva and whatever the next generation bone builder is, understand this physiological process. Your body is constantly chewing up old bone and laying down new bone all of the time. It does it with two types of cells. The osteoblasts lay down new bone, and the osteoclasts chew up old bone. This process is happening all of the time. The bisphosphonates, Fosamax and Boniva, take advantage of this situation by putting the cells that chew up old bone to sleep, which is a really stupid thing to do, because when you put the cells that chew up old bone to sleep, what happens? Well, old bone accumulates in your bone. Now, your body was trying to get rid of the old bone, but the MDs don't believe that, because the MDs don't believe in the wisdom of the body. The MDs believe that the body is just a biochemical soup that's, it's a pot full of trouble that's only waiting to boil over. Something's waiting to go bad, and really it's just time until something breaks, and then you have to manage what breaks with a drug. They're insane in their understanding of the inner workings of the human body. So they don't think that the body is trying to get rid of the old bone for a good reason. So they stop that, and so old bone accumulates in the bone. And then what happens after you've been on these drugs for 4 or 5 years, you start to get something called brittle bone syndrome, which means that especially the long bones of your body, especially your legs and your forearms, are so chock-filled with old bone that the wind blows too strong and they snap. You step off of the curb to cross the street, and the pressure of putting your foot down on the ground, an extra 6 inches makes the leg bone snap. And this is the latest round of class action lawsuits. Look it up. Bisphosphonate spontaneous leg fractures. But of course, nobody talks about it, and you don't see Sally Field pitching Boniva anymore for this very reason. Now, I went off on this tangent, Greg, to just underline the fact that there are two processes happening in the body all of the time. Your body is chewing up old bone, and your body is attempting to lay down new bone. But your body needs raw materials to lay down new bone. Your body can't make calcium. Your body can't make phosphorus. Your body can't make silica. Your body can't make sulfur. These are the things that your bones need to be strong. So it would be prudent, don't you think, to give somebody who is struggling with osteoporosis raw materials that their body can use to make new bones, because their body's trying to strengthen the bones all of the flippin' time. And it would also be a good idea to counsel somebody with osteoporosis to stop eating food that's hurting the bones. So when we do these two things, stop eating the food that's hurting the bones and give the body raw materials it can use to lay down new bone that it's attempting to do, that's kind of like a never fail fudge. Now, one of the reasons that people develop chronic pain after they've had trauma to a certain part of the body is again because of lack of nutrition. The body has a remarkable ability to fix itself. The body needs 90 essential nutrients, and you can get maybe 30, 40, 50 of them from food. And with 30 or 40 essential nutrients, the body can struggle through and rise to meet another day, but it's not going to be pretty. So she falls off, the bus driver hits the gas too quick, and she snaps a vertebrae in her back. And then the body has the ability to fix the break, but the rest of the soft tissue around the break, and quite frankly the structure of the break itself, isn't 100% better. What happens when there's a trauma to any part of the body, the muscles and the soft tissue around the area of trauma go into a spasm. The muscles become like an armor coat to protect the part of the body that was just traumatized. So all of the muscles and soft tissue that are surrounding that vertebrae went into spasm when she broke it, and they have remained locked down. Interesting, because one of the things that muscles need in order to relax back to where they need to be, in order to let the armor defenses go, is calcium. and magnesium, which I know she doesn't have enough of because she's osteoporotic. So this has become like, a snowball rolling down a hill for her, and things are getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. She snaps a bone because she was osteoporotic, and then the soft tissue surrounding the bone isn't able to really heal 100% because it's still spastic. It's going to be causing pain all of the time. So there's three things that she needs to do.
Okay.
Number one, she needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods, okay?
Okay.
And you can get that list for free on my website. I did a free webinar last week about the 10 bad foods. I think there's a post for it on my website. It's free. It's free information. She needs to take into her body every day the raw materials that her body needs to optimize the structure and function of its musculoskeletal system. And my recommendation for that is it's called a healthy bone and joint pack.
Okay.
It's called a healthy bone and joint pack. And the company Youngevity has two of those. There's the original formula and the 2.0. I would recommend she takes the original formula. Okay?
Okay.
So it's one healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And one extra bottle of calcium a month. And hands down, as God is my witness, the single best calcium on the planet right now is in the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, but you can order it separately as well. It's called Beyond Osteo FX. That's O-S-T like Thomas, E-O. So, one Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, original formula, per 100 pounds per month, and then one extra bottle of Beyond Osteo FX Plus, Beyond Osteo FX Plus a month. Now, once she's been taking that stuff for 4 weeks and has followed the diet for 4 weeks, it's not hard to do. It's a little bit of a change, but it's not that hard to do. And I would encourage you to experiment with it as well. I would then have her visit somebody, a body worker, who is knowledgeable in trigger point therapy. Because somebody who knows trigger point therapy can find there's a release point in each muscle belly that if you touch it and stimulate it long enough, it will force the muscle to relax. It will force the muscle to relax. It will force it to drop its guard. And after she's done this program for about 4 weeks, if she has trigger point therapy to her back, it's going to be night and day, man. It's going to be night and day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
How'd you find out about us, Greg?
My best friend is a Youngevity distributor, and he's gotten me on the Healthy Start Pack. And actually, this is the first 6 season that I haven't gotten sick.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well,
so
proof of the pudding's in Eden. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, well, maybe there's something to help my mom too. So.
Okay, great. Well, so get with your friend, and so find out how to get this stuff, at the wholesale price. And also, your friend has probably told you, right? Youngevity. There's 2 ways to work with Youngevity. You can be a customer and just get the stuff at the wholesale price, or you can be a distributor. And since your friend is a distributor, then you need to place the order through him so he gets credit for it. And tell you what, Greg, man, I would also say, look, man, can you show me the business opportunity here? Because Youngevity has a really interesting business opportunity. And if you become a distributor, you can make a nice little additional income by helping people like, your mother, your grandmother, your friends, neighbors, whomever, to get back on the health train. And that's why we do it, because every time I say it, it seems a little, I don't know what the word is, seems a little much, but it's true. Dr. Wallach, the founder of Youngevity, chose to set Youngevity up as a networked business on purpose. He could have just done it as a normal vitamin business and sold the stuff at GNC, but he didn't do that. He decided on purpose to set this up as a network business for one reason and one reason only. We are attempting to grow a grassroots coalition of the informed, people all around the world who know that conventional medicine is horrible for chronic disease, who are looking for a science-based, clinically verified option, who find Youngevity, and then help us spread the word. We're growing a non-militant grassroots coalition of the informed, and our goal is to get people so healthy they can completely stop taking their prescription medications. And this is how we're going to change the world. We're going to have the pharmaceutical industry die by attrition, because the more people that get on board with longevity, the more healthy they'll be and the less they'll need pharmaceutical medicine. And then that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Take a look at the business opportunity, man. I
will.
I think there might be something there for you. Appreciate your patience, Greg. I'm kind of a motor mouth today. Forgive me, but give that program a try, and call us back in a couple of weeks with a report. I would look forward to that very much. This is how we're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. One person, one town, one county, one state, one country at a time. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. I am your steadfast advocate for health. There's tons of information that's for free on my website, drglidden.com. Check it out. Become an insider. That's a subscription service. You want to check out those details on my website. Knowledge is power. Get knowledgeable about simple steps you can do to recover your health. It's easier than you think. Stick around. Sam from somewhere is up next. Thanks a lot. Is unrivaled in the field of medical nutrition, the field of nutrition, period. There's no other company that has a product that even comes close to this, and this is a big deal.
Order your liquid colloidal minerals from Longevity today by calling 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. Or on the web at fireyourmdnow.com. That's fireyourmdnow.com.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
It's hard to imagine when things are going reasonably well, just how quickly things can change. But what would it take? Economic collapse? Massive crop failure? Chemical or biological attack? So many situations could find you in the grocery looking to pick up food for your family only to find that the shelves are empty. There's nothing. Don't let that happen. Act today to make sure that if it ever comes to that, you and your family will be provided for. Visit freezedryguy.com to look at the wide variety of survival foods available. Freeze-dried foods from the Freeze Dry Guy store longer, rehydrate faster, are nutritionally superior to, and taste better than any other long-term storage food available. Visit freezedryguy.com or call toll-free 866-404-3663. freezedryguy.com.
That's us coming over the hill to the rescue. Somebody had to. Might as well be us. We're up for the task. Longevity Nation Worldwide. That's who I'm referring to. A worldwide coalition of network marketeers who have taken it upon themselves, the business of mankind. Now, that's a group of people you want to associate with. If you've found us on your own, if you stumbled upon us somehow through fate, and go to my website, drglidden.com. Click on the Join Team Glidden button and follow the bouncing mouse. It's not really a bouncing mouse. Just follow the prompts. And you can join Longevity. You'll be in my team, my Longevity team, and someone from my organization will get in touch with you and tell you what to do. It's as simple as that. If you were directed to this radio program from a pre-existing young... Sam from Michigan is up next. Hey, Sam, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Dr. Glidden, you have saved our lives. Thank you so much. I have an 86-year young sweetie on the line with me. Her name is Ruth, and she has high blood pressure, depression. She's had 2 hip surgeries, and I think she's having little issues with osteo. If you could speak with her, I would love it.
Hello, Ruth. Come on in. Are you with me?
Yes. I didn't have hip replacement, so...
Okay. Have you had any type of joint surgery in your body?
No, just carpal tunnel. No.
Oh, yeah, carpal tunnel. Okay. How long have you had high blood pressure?
7, 8, 10 years.
Yeah. What's it? I mean, how's your sleep at night, Ruth? Is it easy to fall asleep?
I don't sleep very well at night. I wake up. Sometimes I go right to sleep and wake up about 3 o'clock.
Yeah. And are you wide awake at 3 o'clock?
Yes. I get up and read or turn television on.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you get sleepy after you eat lunch or dinner?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Yeah. And how about restless legs at night in bed? Do you get that?
No.
Okay, good. All right. And how much do you weigh, Ruth?
142.
Okay, 142. Well, here's what I would do by way of experiment. I would take some nutritional supplements for 4 weeks to see if you notice a positive change. And you're going to have to be careful here because most of the time, inside of 4 weeks, in somebody who's under 200 pounds, there's going to be a positive change in your blood pressure. So you need to get a blood pressure cuff that's reliable. You need to be taking your blood pressure twice a day. And when your blood pressure numbers start to come down, you want to go to a medical professional somewhere and say, hey, look, my numbers are getting too low. I need to reduce or stop my blood pressure medication. Because remember, our goal here is to get you so healthy that you don't need to take blood pressure medication or any other medication. This is the goal. So you have to keep a weather eye to your blood pressure once you're engaged with this program.
Well, when you're older, isn't the blood pressure a little bit higher?
No. The only reason that blood pressure increases is because your body has run out of the stuff it needs to maintain healthy blood pressure. I mean, it's not an aging thing. It's not a genetic thing. You know, if you tuned up your car and kept really good care of it, it could run for 300,000 miles. But if you never put a quart of oil in it, the thing's going to explode at 60,000 miles. The human body is the same way. Real quick, the recommendation, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX per month. Do the original formula anti-aging healthy start pack. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. That's a very, very good place to start.
Oh, Let me write down. I had the full pack here.
All right, now we're out of time. We're up against a hard break here. The person that brought you on will be able to help. May 12th, 2014. Welcome aboard. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. This is the second hour of Fire Your MD Now. I think Sam from Michigan is still with us with something to clarify. Sam, are you still here?
This is Pam, from Michigan.
Oh, Pam, hey. Yeah, so were those instructions clear? 99% of the time, high blood pressure is attributable to a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. And so in order to support and promote healthy circulation, the recommendation is, what I would start with is the Anti-Aging Healthy Start Pack, original formula, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and then 1 additional bottle of Beyond Osteo FX a month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Make sure she measures her blood pressure every day, and if the numbers start to come down, have her consult with a medical professional and reduce her meds appropriately. It's pretty easy.
You're awesome. I thank you so much. You were speaking with Greg earlier from California, and you had mentioned about brittle bones. I have a great niece that has brittle bone disease. She was born with it, and she keeps breaking every couple of months, and she's now about 18 years old. Is there anything we can do to help support her? They said she would grow out of it.
Well, that just doesn't make sense that she should grow out of it. I mean, that's just silly. One of the things that could happen here as her body becomes more mature, the hormones in her body are going to become stronger and more prevalent. And as the hormones in her body become stronger and more prevalent, they're going to exert a greater influence on, bone production. But the deal is, regardless of how strong the hormones are, the body needs raw materials to make bones. It can't, bones aren't made out of pixie dust, right? Bones are made from calcium and sulfur and phosphorus and boron and glucosamine sulfate and stuff that the body can't make. It can't make it. So you got to import it. So the one thing that I've learned from my 25-year tenure with holistic medicine is, God is my witness, I have no idea anymore where the point of no return is. There is a point of no return. There is a point beyond which the body can't fix it. There is. But I don't know where that is anymore. So my first, second, and third recommendation to everybody, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Take the appropriate nutritional supplements into your body every month for 90 days and see if you experience a positive result. And if you do, you just keep running with that ball. So for her, the recommendation would be, 1, I would give her the Healthy Start Pack, 1 Healthy Start Pack, original formula, 1 selenium, 2 liquid glucogel plus per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's 2 liquid glucogel plus, 1 selenium, and 1 Healthy Start Pack original formula per 100 pounds of body weight per month. It wouldn't hurt for a teenager to give her an extra bottle of calcium as well. Plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. And normally when people are calcium deficient, they have kind of this low-grade anxiety, or they have low back pain that comes and goes, or her menstrual cramps are like unbearably, unbelievably unbearable. Hard time falling to sleep at night, or anxiety and panic attacks, low-grade anxiety and panic attacks. All of these things should fall by the wayside as the calcium is being, and other essential minerals are being assimilated into the body. And this is a hallmark of the success of the program. And if she can start to feel a subjective improvement every couple of weeks, then we would therefore assume that the bones are getting stronger as well. So that's how we do it. Makes sense, right?
Thank you so much. Dr. Glidden, I never thought there'd be a point of return from me. And I told you before, I was a 3X. Now I'm wearing a small and a size 0 pants. So, yeah, I am really so grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Pam, you're welcome. Keep up the good work over there in Michigan. Really, we've passed the baton to you now, and it appears like you're doing a good job. Keep spreading the word. Your companions, countrymen, countrywomen, church members, community members need you more than you could possibly imagine. Los Angeles is up next. It looks like Celeste has a question. Hey, Celeste, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I called you last week. No, it was week before last. I had just gotten my product, and I took, I kind of OD'd. I took too much. I took 3 of the Osteos, and I took 3 of the Tangerine 3 scoops, and I downed it all at once in about 5-6 minutes.
Woo!
And I was like checking, but I did pretty good for the first hour or 2 hours. All my aches disappeared.
Yeah.
I stood up, and my joints weren't creaking. I just jumped up, and all of it just disappeared. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, I'm healed. And about an hour and a half later, I crashed. I started shaking, my heart palpitations. It was just nasty. And I thought, oh, this is not good.
So what happened? So I told you to dial it down a notch, right? What happened?
You told me to stop, period, and just flush for, with water every 30 minutes, and I'll be peeing like crazy, but whatever. But I did that, and I finally, my heart, stopped beating fast, the palpitation, the nervousness, all of that stopped. So I just quit for the rest of the day, and then you told me the next day start with just 1 and do it slow. So I did that, and I've calmed down. So right now, it's like the stiffness in my legs, or my left leg. It's like yesterday, it just swelled up so I couldn't walk. I was limping. And I didn't know what happened there.
Well, all right, so here's the deal, Celeste. Well, there's 3 things I want to tell you. But number 1, how long in your life, how many years have you been bothered with these, arthritic symptoms? How many years?
A good 9, 10.
All right, 10 years. So it's going to take you 10 months to get on the other side of it, number 1. More or less. That we can destroy a house in 60 seconds.
Right.
Drop a bomb on it, it's gone, right? But to build a house, that's a whole different story. And this is what we're attempting to do with medical nutrition. And this is why this is not for everybody, because a lot of people around the world, have been kind of lulled into this quick fix mentality by the pharmaceutical companies, right? So, right, healing is a process, and you have to be committed to the long term. But listen,
right,
when you overdid it on day 1, right, before the what hit the fan.
Yeah.
You had a couple of hours of feeling really pretty good, right?
I mean, it was like I was bored again.
All right, good. So that day is coming back, because that was not a placebo effect. That's a direct effect of nutrification of the body. So that's a drop-dead diagnostic indication that you, in fact, are a perfect candidate for this program. And the only thing that you need here, Celeste, is time. You need time and diligence. So one thing that you can do to increase the effectiveness of this program and to kind of shorten your recovery time is make triply sure that you have eliminated all 10 bad foods, that all 10 bad foods are gone from your diet. They're gone. They're history.
Okay.
Adios, amiga. They're gone. No longer there. No 10 foods. Don't even look at these 10 foods. And just make sure you take your nutritional supplements every day, like a little discipline. And I don't know, man, how much do you weigh, Celeste?
A bit too much, 325.
Okay, so every month you should see your weight reduce, and every couple of weeks you should see something else improve a little bit, right? 10% better, 15% better, 20% better, 30% better, 40% better. It's like watching snowball roll down a hill. And remember, are you an insider on my website? Have you done that yet? Have you gotten a subscription to my insider stuff?
Not yet.
Okay, so go to my website, please. drglidden.com. Click on the link there where it says Become an Insider. It's $20 a month, and you can cancel at any time, right? You can cancel at any time, right? So the worst thing that can happen is you'll lose $20. Okay. And I want you to become an insider, if just for 1 month, and go into the archives of the subscription. Once you have a subscription, you have access to my library, my archived library of video recordings. I want you to watch the video on obesity, on weight gain, okay?
Okay.
Because there's information there that's really going to help you. And if for no other reason, just for that information, that'll be the best $20 you've ever spent. Understand the process that made you gain weight. It's not your fault. You don't have a stomach that's too big. You're not lazy. It's not because you're depressed. It's not because you have a bad gene. It's because you have a bad doctor. And it's a relatively easy thing to get on the other side of. You have to understand the process, and you have to take the appropriate steps. I line it all up for you in that webinar. I mean, I've got webinars on everything there, man. I'm going to really check it out. Inform yourself about what you can do in addition to what you're already doing in order to accelerate this process and move it forward. But really, Celeste, the biggest thing that you can do is just maintain the discipline, baby, and let time take care of it, because it will.
So the reason my leg is like the fluid, it feels like fluid on my knee. This way is the front part of my knee and the back, where the crease is. That's where it hurts so bad.
Okay, so is part of your package CM cream?
No, the only thing I got was the Osteo Liquid FX and the EFA, and I got the Tangerine, the original.
Okay, well, you need Glucogel in addition to that. And you can either get Glucogel capsules or you can get the Glucogel liquid. I would start with 2 bottles of Glucogel liquid a month, 2 bottles of Glucogel liquid a month, and 1 bottle of Glucogel capsules at the 240 count. That's really going to help the knee to support and promote the structure and function of the ligaments, cartilages, and tendons in the knee. There's also this other stuff that Youngevity has. It's called CM cream, like Charlie Michael. CM cream. If you get a bottle of the CM cream, every time, a joint flares up and you develop a problem, a painful inflammatory problem, you want to slather that CM cream all over in and around the area that's affected. In this case, it would be the knee. Usually within 15 minutes, there's a remarkable diminution in the pain. So check it out. Get some Glucogel, get the CM cream, eliminate the 10 bad foods big time, and give your body time to get on the other side of it. Thanks, Celeste. I appreciate the phone call very much. Stick around, folks. Clinton in Minnesota. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a good weekend. Well, if you're a Youngevity distributor, there's no such thing as a weekend, because once you work the business up to a place where you need it to be, you can quit your JOB, you can make your own hours, you can work 25 hours a day, you can work 2 hours a day, whatever floats your boat, whatever gets the bills paid, whatever meets your financial goals, you can dial it in with a home-based business. Why everybody in the world doesn't do this is beyond me. One of the reasons, of course, is because the well has been polluted by the saw boss, the big boss, the corporate boss, who wants you to believe that all that network marketing stuff is just hullabaloo. And really, you need to relegate yourself to their way. You need to do it their way. You need to be okay with minimum wage. You need to be okay with slave wages. You need to be okay with a ceiling cap. You need to be okay with only making so much money. You need to be okay with the bank owning your car and your house and, having $5,000-$10,000 in credit card debt, because that's just what everybody does. Well, I got news for you. That's not what Youngevity Nation does. Members of Youngevity Nation are climbing rapidly out of debt into the bright sunshine of self-employment. And again, as God is my witness, if you had any practical notion of the business structure offered by Youngevity in the agency, through the agency of a home-based network marketing business, you would do it. It's not what you think it is. It's not an Amway. It's not like that. You don't have to stockpile your garage with all this stuff you're never going to use. It's not like that at all. It's not like it. It's a completely different payout structure. It's a completely different thing. You know, it might not be for you, but it's better to get informed about what the heck it is before you say no. Because if you say no and you don't know what it is, 5 years from now, you're going to kick yourself. That's what happened to me. I didn't know what it was. 19 years ago, I said no. The stupidest thing I ever did in my life. 4 years ago, I came back. Well, 4 years ago, I got my head out of my you-know-what. And it was the smartest move I ever did, was aligning myself with longevity. No kidding. Clinton from Minnesota is up next. Let's see what is on his mind. Hey, Clinton, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
How you doing today, Dr. Glidden?
I'm all right, Clinton. What's shaking?
Okay, a couple situations here. I have a friend whose mother is going to see the doctor tomorrow, and she has a condition where they're telling her that she has an aneurysm, and they put it on a scale of 4 out of 5. And so in this situation, I know that, you know, doctors at times can be promoters of fear. And so I guess they're going to suggest to her that they need, or that she needs to have surgery.
Right.
And so I kind of want to get your opinion on that piece right there. And then I want to touch on about varicose veins. And then I got about 3 small questions, each of them requiring probably about a 15 or 20 second answer from you.
Clinton, I got all the time in the world, brother. You don't have to worry about the time crunch. There's no worries, man. So here's the deal. Are the brain aneurysms and the varicose veins happening in the same person?
No, the varicose veins would be something with me. Just want to know with it, because I'm taking a lot of calcium, and I've got a lot of the EFAs and the Cell Shield for myself. And I think I told you probably 2 weeks ago that I am a stroke survivor myself, and I was told that I couldn't talk or anything like that. But you see, that's not the case. And so I've taken the plant-derived minerals and different things like that. Just want to just touch base just for myself, just to make sure, should I be upping the doses for myself when it comes to the varicose vein issue. But I guess I want to really hear this, because I'm going to be meeting with her here about the information that you're going to present about the aneurysm.
Okay, great. So interestingly enough, aneurysms and varicose veins and hemorrhoids, believe it or not, spider veins, these are all caused by the same thing. It's fragility of the blood vessels in the body. The blood vessels have lost their elasticity. Kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had a garden hose, and it's like it was just an old rubber hose made from crappy rubber, and you leave it out in the sun too much, or you leave it under the deck all winter long, and the rubber gets dried out. And then the hose can't bend like it used to, and when you put water through it, part of the hose is going to bubble up. Well, the same thing happens in the body. It's a copper deficiency. You stick around with me on the other side of the break. I'll tell you more. Welcome back, everybody. Let's continue on with Clinton here, because boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to say. Clinton, are you still with me?
Absolutely, listening.
All right, so here's the deal. So if you cut a tree trunk in half, it's got little rings in it, right? Or an onion. Onion's a better example. If you take an onion and you cut it in half, it's got layers to it, little layers. Now, if you let that onion sit on the countertop for a couple days, it would get all dried out. And when it gets dried out, the layers start to separate, and the onion, of course, loses its structural integrity. Well, your blood vessels in your body have layers like the onion or the tree does. And when the body runs out of certain nutrients which make a molecule called elastin, the blood vessels start to become compromised, and the layers in the arteries of the body, and the arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. It's high pressure blood inside the arteries. The walls of the arteries start to separate one from the other, and that's a big bad voodoo daddy. And then now you've got high pressured blood inside there, and it will cause one of the layers to pooch out, balloon out. Exactly the same thing happens in an old rubber hose that's been dried out, and you hook it up to the faucet and turn the water on, and the water pressure makes one part of the hose bubble up. Well, if that bubble bursts, you die. You're going to bleed out. And if it happens in the brain, it's a big bad voodoo daddy, because you may die, number one, but number two, when a blood vessel bursts in the brain, it messes everything up, right? So the game is afoot here, and this person's been diagnosed with an aneurysm, right? 4 out of 5, whatever that means. If she has surgery, the surgical procedure is not going to fix the cause of the aneurysm. The surgical procedure is going to cut out the part of the artery that has the aneurysm. So they cut out the part of the artery that has the little balloon, and they attach the other two pieces together. Now, you can imagine a million things going wrong with brain surgery, right? I mean, a million things can go wrong with brain surgery. Number one. Number two, it's not going to fix the root cause of the problem. It's not going to fix it. It's not going to fix the little bubble that's happening in the hose is not the problem. It's the result of the problem. The aneurysm is not the problem. It's the result of the problem. The problem is chronic nutrient deficiencies. And it's the same thing with hemorrhoids. It's the same thing with varicose veins. It's the same mechanism, just much less pronounced. The smartest man in the world in the 20th century, Albert Einstein, didn't know this. He died of an aortic aneurysm. The big blood vessel coming out of his heart ballooned and popped, and he bled out. He had chronic copper deficiencies, and he didn't know it. He was the smartest man in the world. So, I'm not surprised that this woman doesn't know it. I'm extremely surprised that her medical doctor doesn't know this, because I'm a physician and I know it. And why don't they? Because they don't pay attention and they don't give a damn. It's not their job to know what causes disease. It's their job to name disease and manage disease. And we should be scared. We should be scared, less when we're in their presence, because they do not know what's going on. Now, so if this were me, I wouldn't have brain surgery. If it were me, I would nutrify my body aggressively. And what do we do to nutrify the body aggressively? To support and promote the structure and function of arteries, in this case. Selenium is the secret sauce. You want to give selenium, because Dr. Wallach's selenium has copper in it, and copper is the operative nutrient here. We need copper in order to make elastin, which is the molecule necessary for the blood vessels to have structural integrity. Now, probably it would not be a bad idea to go outside of Youngevity in the case of the brain aneurysm, because in order to really aggressively support and promote the structure and function of the circulatory system here, I think perhaps colloidal copper would be indicated. Now, I don't have any research to back that up. I don't have any clinical experience to back that up. It is more conjecture on my part. It's more intellectual supposition on my part. I'm telling you what I would do if I had a brain aneurysm, or an aneurysm anywhere in my circulatory system. In order to support and promote the structure and function of my body, I would here's what I would do inside of Youngevity. I would do 1 healthy brain and heart pack and 1 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 healthy brain and heart pack and 1 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. I would do 1 bottle of Z Radical per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and I would go outside of Youngevity and order something called Meso Copper, MESO COPPER. It's a colloidal copper. I would get as big of a bottle as they sell. I don't even know what that is. And I would do a tablespoon of colloidal copper twice a day. I would do a tablespoon of colloidal copper twice a day on an empty stomach in order to support and promote the structure and function of my blood vessels. And you should do the same thing, because it's the same process, just not as extreme. if someone has hemorrhoids or spider veins or varicose veins or an aneurysm. It's the same thing, just more and more and more of it. So, I would get the Meso Copper yourself and do a tablespoon a couple times a day. In addition to selenium, you need Youngevity's selenium, and the recommendation for that is, 1 bottle per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed more than 4 bottles a month. Of course, Clinton, everybody has to stop the 10 bad foods, but that's how I would handle that.
Absolutely. Okay, so I got that real quick. With these few other questions, if you could take 15 seconds on each question.
Shoot.
Here, how quick, with your archive shows, how quick can you have access to the recent ones?
As soon as they're done, they immediately go into the archives.
Okay, so if we was doing a show today, I could have access to it tomorrow?
No, you can have access to it as soon as the show's over.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, with bread, is gluten-free bread acceptable? Or
Hallelujah. Hallelujah and pass the hat. Thank God for gluten-free bread. Yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes. Unequivocally, yes. I'm a big proponent of gluten-free bread. And, we should have like a running contest in the world or inside of Youngevity Nation for someone to come up with an awesome recipe for gluten-free bread, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Right now, my favorite is Udi's, U-D, like David, I''S, Udi's gluten-free multi-grain bread. There's no wheat, barley, rye, or oats in it, and it tastes pretty good when you toast it up.
Absolutely. I appreciate that information. Now, sugar, processed sugar is bad. Am I correct?
No, that's incorrect. Now, you want to, in my archives, Clinton, you're an insider, right?
Absolutely.
All right, in the archives, I did a whole webinar on sugar. You want to check it out. It doesn't matter if it's fruit sugar, if it's carbohydrate sugar, if it's vegetable sugar, if it's processed sugar, if it's brown sugar, white, pink, green, purple, or blue sugar. I don't care. It's more or less the same. The problem with sugar is how much and whether your body has the requisite minerals it needs in order to metabolize it appropriately. But check that webinar out. It will tell you everything you never knew you needed to know about sugar, man. It's right there waiting for you. I got to move on, Clinton. You're the greatest. I appreciate you very, very much. Kathy in California is up next. Hey, Kathy. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Yes, Dr. Glenn, I'm interested in knowing about the renal cell carcinoma cancer, stage 4, and I want to know what your recommendations would be for that.
Well, my recommendations for that are get down on your knees and pray and write a strongly worded letter to the State Medical Association, whoever is the president of the State Medical Association, because they have let us all down. They've let us down hard when it comes to cancer. We've spent nearly $1 trillion, $700 billion now on cancer research, which is an unbelievable sum of money. And we're not any closer to a cancer cure than we were when Richard Nixon, said we're starting a war on cancer. And that was in the 60s? For goodness sake, it's nonsense. We don't treat cancer. That's illegal. The only people in the United States that can treat cancer are oncologists, and which is why all alternative, quote-unquote, cancer treatment centers are not in the United States, because the pharmaceutical industry doesn't let anybody but MDs using pharmaceutical drugs treat cancer. And that should be enough to make anybody pull their hair out in obtuse rage, for goodness sake. I can't tell you, if it were me, and I was up against renal cell carcinoma, in order to support and promote the structure and function of my body, in order to help my immune system, in order to help my urogenital system get a leg up, because remember, we don't treat cancer, here's what I would do. I would do 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, original formula, and 2 selenium, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, original formula, 2 selenium, and 2 Z radical, 2 bottles of Z radical per 100 pounds of body weight per month. I would eliminate the 10 bad foods. I would get a juicer, and I would drink 8 ounces of fresh squeezed vegetable or fruit juice 3 times a day. I would severely restrict my calorie intake. I wouldn't eat more than 1,200 calories a day. And the food that I ate would be mostly fruits, vegetables, and meat. I would stay completely away from grains. I would stay completely away from grains. I wouldn't even look at oil. That's how I would handle it. Plus, I would find a homeopathic physician who is familiar with Dr. Ramakrishnan's work. There's an Indian homeopath who I'd love to have on this radio show, who has in fact been treating cancer in India exclusively with homeopathy and has an unbelievable success rate. You want to find a naturopathic physician or an MD who practices homeopathy and uses Dr. Ramakrishnan's method. Do a Google search for Ramakrishnan, Ramakrishnan, Dr. Ramakrishnan. Just do a Google search, Dr. Ramakrishnan Cancer, and perhaps they will give you a little bit of a heads up there. But that's all I have for that, Kathy. And it's a crying shame, too, because, look, in a perfect world, the naturopathic doctors, the Ayurvedic doctors, the acupuncturists, we'd all get the same amount of research money for cancer as the MDs get in a perfect world. But it's far from a perfect world. Yeah.
As far as that Hoffer's vitamin protocol for cancer, would that be one that would be recommended or to look into as well?
No, and I used to be an advocate of Dr. Hoffer's vitamin protocol for cancer. I've had lunch with Dr. Hoffer. I was a big proponent of his work. And since I've met Youngevity, since I've met Dr. Wallach and I've been doing Youngevity, and as my career has progressed here, I no longer recommend Dr. Hoffer's protocol. I would go exclusively with what I just recommended in order to support and promote the structure and function of a healthy immune system. Okay?
And can you respell back that doctor's name for me again, please?
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's an Indian name, right? So it's Rama, R-A-M-A.
Okay.
K like Kathy, R like Roger, I, S like Sam, H like Harry, N like Nancy, A N like Nancy, Ramakrishnan, Dr. Ramakrishnan. He's an Indian Ayurvedic homeopath, and it don't get much better than that. Thanks for the phone call, Kathy. Stick around, folks. We're finishing up the program. When we come back, it looks like Steve from Illinois is up next. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and I find your lack of minerals disturbing. Luke, these bronchodilators are killing me. Let's see what Steve in Illinois is up to. Hey, Steve, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Doc, I want to say your DVD series is awesome. Been using it a lot, learned a lot. But I'm calling for a mother whose daughter is 21 years old. She was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at age 6, who is currently taking, the daughter's, is taking the Enbrel shot every 2 weeks.
Oh, God, yeah.
And her hair is thinning, and even though the arthritis is, only affects her knees, she was diagnosed with lymphedema and struggles every day with swelling everywhere.
Holy smokes,
really
man.
Her
Well, she should be concerned about a lot of things. How old is she?
She's 21, and she's 164 pounds at 5'2". She also has digestive issues. She's trying to be gluten-free since November, but is struggling with it.
Okay, yeah. Well, so she needs support, right? She can go to Wellness Warriors on Facebook. That's with a Z. Wellness Warriors. That's a Youngevity spin-off started by my colleague, the Commander, a.k.a. Mark Denning, RN. And it is a wonderful support network for people who are in Youngevity, who are like trying to figure out how to take the supplements and how to go gluten-free and what to eat for breakfast, whatever. It's a really pretty nice support network. People need that, especially in the first 6 months. So I would have her lean on Wellness Warriors on Facebook, number one. Number two, for rheumatoid arthritis, we support and promote the structure and function of the bones and joints, and we do that with the original formula, not the 2.0, the original One healthy bone. Well, she's 160, so here's what I'd give her. I'd give her one healthy bone and joint pack, original formula. One healthy bone and joint pack, original formula. One bottle of Beyond Osteo FX Plus. One bottle of Beyond Osteo FX Plus. 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. And 2 bottles of Killer Biotic. And I'd only have her take the Killer Biotic for 8 weeks. Have her take the Killer Biotic for 8 weeks. That's 2 bottles of Killer Biotic, 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX, and 1 of Healthy Bone and Joint Pack original formula. Now, when she's doing the right stuff here, right? I mean, from our point of view, rheumatoid arthritis is chronic mineral deficiencies. Chronic. I mean, from her point of view, probably started in utero. This has been her new normal, is being unhealthy. So I would gainsay that in the first 14 days of taking Youngevity stuff, there's going to be a noticeable, measurable, positive improvement somewhere in her body mind that's going to be dramatic. Guaranteed her sleep is messed up, her energy's messed up, her mood's messed up, her appetite's messed up. You already told me she's got GI stuff. So there's a lot of things going on across the board that she's kind of gotten used to, and she just thinks that life sucks, kind of, everywhere. So have her just be mindful of how she feels across the board when she gets on board with this program. And then when she does start to see positive improvement somewhere, well, then that's all that we need, because then she just needs to maintain the discipline and see what happens. But I would start her out slowly with the supplements. I'd give her dilute doses of the stuff. Make sure she takes time to drink the Beyond Tangy. Make sure she takes time to drink the supplements, the Beyond OsteoFX. Eliminate the phytates. You know the drill, man. You've been doing this for a while, and you're good at it. So hold her hand, hook her up with these products, and I'm going to bet you 25 cents that in the first 14 days, the first 2 weeks, she's going to experience a breakthrough here that's going to be big time, not just a little time. And then the rest is up to nature and Father Time. So that's how I'd like her to start. I appreciate the phone call, Steve. We got to go so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how you did it, but you wasted another perfectly good 2 hours with me. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. If you're new to this radio program, visit the website, poke around the website, drglidden.com. I've got tons of free information, and if you want to really take a big step towards a bright future, become an insider. Information is there about my insider subscription on the very front page of drglidden.com. Until such time as we meet in person, God willing and the creek don't rise, I remain your steadfast advocate for health, Dr. Peter Glidden, reminding you to live long and prosper. Dr. Glidden, over and out.